Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, we're celebrating both the Cowboys and the settlers of Kansas. See how organizations and towns are keeping these important heritages alive with celebrations, food, family, and fun. With so many things to see and do in Kansas, you'll want to make sure to stay tuned. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Around Kansas, brought to you by Tarwater Farm and Home. Come on by, we'll treat you like family.
Welcome to Around Kansas at the Kansas Museum of History, and we're celebrating the National Day of the Cowboy today with Westfest. And with me is Joy Brennan. Joy, thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Well, there's just all kinds of great stuff going on around here, and of course Kansas has such a strong cowboy heritage. So tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Well, we're celebrating the cowboy today. It is a national day to recognize the cowboy, so it's a perfect fit for us. We have a big history of cowboys in the state of Kansas. We have a big train in our museum, of course, that everyone is familiar with, and the last car on our train is a drover's car, which carried cowboys from Kansas out east to sell cattle many years ago, and so we thought that'd be a perfect opportunity for us to celebrate the cowboy and the heritage of it here in Kansas.
Well, the kids are just having a great time, just all over the place. So what are some of the activities that you've had, like the stagecoach rides? That was so cool.
It's a fun day today. We do have a stagecoach giving horse-drawn rides out in the pasture, and we have donkey cart rides as well. We also had a cowboy obstacle course complete with a cow pie toss and ring the horse and throw a snake in the boot. We've had free hot dogs and chips today for lunch at our chuck wagon. We also have allowed visitors to enter the teepee, the full-size teepee in our gallery for the first time. We haven't done that at all before, so it's a special opportunity today.
Well, the kids have just had a ball. We've watched them, and just all ages. And believe me, you haven't lived till you've tossed a cow pie. That's one to put on your bucket list right there. So, Joy, the regular exhibits in the museum, of course, you mentioned the train already and the teepee, but you have a lot that are related to the cowboy culture and the opening of the West, of course, like the buffalo. Yep. How long has that buffalo been there?
Oh, he's been here since the opening, and actually the museum celebrated its 30th birthday this summer, so that buffalo's 30 years old.
Wow.
Yes, and it shows our visitors what Kansas looked like many years ago when people just traveled across the state on the Oregon and Santa Fe trails, and what it looked like for our first settlers who gathered here.
Well, it's just fantastic. How about we take a break and we'll come back and talk about some of the other exhibits at the museum. Stay with us.
This hog is Hanover hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Hey folks, it's Dr. Dan from Doc Talk and Ag AM in Kansas, and that's my farmer. Be sure to stop in and join us at the Kansas State Fair. We're going to be down there, we're going to be walking around, we're going to be in the birthing center. Join us, come say hi, we can't wait to see you.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Hi folks, I'm Jeff Dawson, ranch cowboy and cowboy entertainer. One thing I learned for sure, growing up on the plain, is what my daddy told me, son, don't ever cuss the rain. For the rain cleans the air and fills the ponds to drink, and the trees and grass will grow so fast you'll miss it if you blink. One thing I learned for sure growing up here on the plain is what my daddy told me, son, don't ever cuss the rain. Oh, I know that you'll be calving and a-working in the muck, and you'll lose a calf and cuss yourself and say that's just my luck. Well, one thing I learned for sure growing up here on the plain is what my daddy told me, son, don't ever cuss the rain. Oh, I know 1951 or even 93 will make you fear the water and the lowland's destiny. But if you lived through the 30s and the dust sifted through your window pane, it'll bring you back to what my daddy said, son, don't ever cuss the rain.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Welcome back to Around Kansas. We're with Joy Brennan, and lots of good stuff going on at the National Day of the Cowboy. And if you can't be here for the great events going on today, you sure can make it another day, because there's always a great exhibit, and you've got a brand new one. If you've been to the museum but you haven't been in the last few days, this is one you got to put on your list. This is beautiful.
That's right. We have a new exhibit that opened a couple of weeks ago. It's Real People, Real Stories. And as you enter our gallery, you'll see 7 famous Kansans standing there. They're mannequins, but they're very lifelike, and you can learn about the history of their story. You can even play on a little tablet and answer 11 questions and figure out what famous Kansan you are most like. So that's kind of fun. We also have a brand new museum store. We just opened that as well, and it looks like kind of an old general store on the outside. Lots of new merchandise, and it's just a great space. So you need to come out and visit.
That's right. Like I said, if you've been but you haven't been in a while, you need to come out and see that. Now, I got to say, the Yellow Brick Road winding through the famous Kansans, that's going to be the most photographed spot in Kansas for generations to come. Everybody's going to have their photo made with one or all of those Kansans. How did you pick them?
Well, of course, the Wizard of Oz. Everyone knows us for the Wizard of Oz. So we didn't want to blast it all over, but just the Yellow Brick Road being there gives a little presence of it. And then the famous Kansans. It took a while to pick, which famous Kansans, because there are a lot of them. And I'm sure other people have other opinions about that, but we picked the ones that stood out to us, and varying different areas of their history and the story and that sort of thing. Whoa, cow pie just about flew by. But we're hoping that we see lots of pictures on our Facebook page. So if you haven't liked us on Facebook, please do so. We hope to see a lot of pictures of those famous Kansans out and about soon.
That's right, and you can share those on Facebook with folks. Yeah, take your pictures and share them on Facebook. Well, Joy, thanks so much, and keep it going. It's always just a joy to come out and see how people can enjoy the museum. And one of the things that's always been special to me, because I've got kids and then grandkids, is the playroom, and that playroom is just so much fun. Good job.
Yes, our Discovery Place is always popular, and of course we have a small train there too, and cowboy hats and lots of boots that kids can dress up today and always.
And always.
That's right.
Thanks so much. Stay tuned for more of Around Kansas.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Welcome to the Willie Sells Amphitheater in historic Topeka Cemetery. Isn't this spot just made for a show? Well, September 6th and 7th, that's exactly what you're going to get. On September 6th, we're going to have the screening of The Road to Valhalla, the Civil War documentary from director Ken Spurgeon and Lone Chimney Films. On September 7th, we're going to have music in the cemetery. We're going to have traditional bluegrass and blues, and you're going to love it. Now find us on Facebook to get all the details. The Saturday night event, there is a $5 admission unless you're friends of the cemetery, and then you get in free. On Sunday, everything is free. Saturday night, we'll have reenactors on hand. Sunday, it's all about honoring the life of Arthur Capper. And he is, of course, a permanent resident here at Topeka Cemetery. We're so proud of him. Look forward to seeing you then.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need. Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Welcome to the Kansas Museum of History, and we're here in the most famous artifact and the most popular by far at the Kansas Museum of History, and that's the train with its beautiful Santa Fe engine up front and the cars out back. So we're in what would have been the drover's car, and so this is the engine, or rather the passenger cars that the Cowboys would have used. So the Cowboys, you know, the whole reason we've got that cowboy culture in Kansas is because of the trains. We had cattle being driven from Texas by the Cowboys, you know, all those cattle trails, driving those longhorns up to the railheads to be shipped back east for slaughter. So it was a hard life, of course, and we've got Abilene, and we got Dodge City and Ellsworth, and all these towns that have gone down in history because of the trains going through and the Cowboys driving the cattle through. Now, if you can see the seats behind me in the other car, you can see this wouldn't have been the most luxurious ride. This, imagine this car filled with cigar and cigarette smoke. Imagine the smell of all those bodies in cramped quarters back when folks were a little skinnier than they are now, and it would have been pretty tightly packed. You had a wood stove up front to provide heat. So if you're sitting in the back of the car, it's going to be pretty cold in the winter months. If it's the summer in Kansas, no AC. I don't know how they got by with that. If you're opening the windows, you got the dust of the cold blowing back on you. So it was not a comfortable ride. And it was a luxury, though, for the people at the time to be able to get on one of these trains and get there a lot faster than a horse or a stagecoach could. So as we celebrate the National Day of the Cowboy, put it on your calendar to come to the Kansas Museum of History one day and check out all these great artifacts that are connected to that history.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand ag professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank, money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, I'm Dawn Dawson with Ag AM in Kansas with the Horse and Around tip for the day. And last time we visited, I told you about how to get correct hands and showed you a demonstration on that. I'd like to add to that if you get correct hands, you can make it even better with your horse by getting correct eyes. And what that means is that when you're riding, instead of looking down at your horse's head, which we all do, it's very common because we love our horse. They're pretty, we just like watching them, but it also doesn't let you get your horse going where you want him to go. So make sure that when you're riding your horse with correct hands, that you're looking where you want to go with your horse. And that way you get to the point you need to and not just kind of weave around with no real destination. I like kids to put cones out in the arena and ride to the cones so that they can get their eyes working. This one little tip will help you be a better horseman.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. If you miss us on Monday morning, you can join us at 6:30 a.m. every Sunday morning on RFD TV. Doc Talk has a national following. We're sure glad that you joined us on Mondays, but if you miss us and you want to catch us out on a Sunday morning, get up at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be right there, RFD TV, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
My name is Matt Miller. I'm the chair of the Oskaloosa Old Settlers Festival. I am here in beautiful Jefferson County, in the county seat actually of Jefferson County, Oskaloosa, here at the 113th annual Oskaloosa Old Settlers Festival. And this event takes place right here on the square, the courthouse grounds here in Oskaloosa. The Oskaloosa Old Settlers Festival actually began roughly 113 years ago. This is the 113th annual Old Settlers Festival, and it all kind of started when the settlers moved out here and were settling the land, and they came upon this ground in Jefferson County, and the story goes, at that time the settlers gathered on the courthouse lawn here in Oskaloosa and baked beans and shared stories about the hardships of settlement throughout the area. So that's kind of how the Old Settlers Festival got its start. As far as the history of Jefferson County, I can tell you a couple people come to mind, a couple founders, Jess Newell, I should say, and Joseph Fitzsimmons. They were actually the founders of Oskaloosa. They came here from the Iowa region, the Iowa state, and made their way into Kansas and founded this town. Jess Newell is considered the, I guess, principal founder, and his partner Joseph Fitzsimmons was the co-founder. John Stuart Curry is actually a Winchester native, which is just up the road on Highway 59. He's of course known for his very famous paintings. I think one of his most famous murals is actually on display in the Kansas State Capitol in Topeka. Tragic Prelude is the name of that, and that's what he's most known for. And his boyhood home actually is actually in Old Jeffersontown, which is here in Oskaloosa. I've attended Old Settlers all my life. I'm 33, and I've been attending since I was in diapers. It got to the point where our current chair, she's been doing this 30 years, she needed some extra help, and so I stepped in. This is my 5th year with the festival, organizing it, and that's kind of how I got involved with all the festivities. The attendance for Old Settlers has grown the past 5 years. We're kind of in a transition period. We're trying to bring in younger people. We're trying to add new events, special attractions to bring people in. But we're also trying to preserve the history and some of our traditions here at Old Settlers. So it's kind of a balance that we've been working on the past 5 years, and we've come such a long way, and we're really proud of what we have built and what we've improved, and the people that are coming in and discovering what this is all about.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Hey folks, I'm Dawn Dawson with Ag AM in Kansas, and today's Horsing Around tip is to help you be a better horseman, and one of those things I like to do is get correct hands. I like to put my hands on my reins at an angle like this. If I had a stick in each one, it would cross. You take that same position with your hands and come back to your reins, and I put about that much distance in between my hands when I'm riding my horse. I ride two-handed a lot because you can get your horse in a better position and be more correct when you're practicing your maneuvers. So what I like to do is get my hands like this, and then I have better control over my horse's head, left and right. One of the bad things that happens with riding one-handed is that sometimes you pull on the horse's head the wrong direction, and you can see that I'm pulling her head to the outside from the direction I'm going. But if I fix my hands and I get back two-handed and I make that same right-hand turn, I have to do hardly anything to ask my horse to make that nice little turn. Our hands are so important and when we're riding and getting our horse correct, and it'll make you a better horseman.
Welcome to the Willie Sells Amphitheater in historic Topeka Cemetery. Isn't this spot just made for a show? Well, September 6th and 7th, that's exactly what you're going to get. On September 6th, we're going to have the screening of The Road to Valhalla, the Civil War documentary from director Ken Spurgeon and Lone Chimney Films. On September 7th, we're going to have music in the cemetery. We're going to have traditional, bluegrass, and blues, and you're going to love it. Now find us on Facebook to get all the details. The Saturday night event, there is a $5 admission unless you're friends of the cemetery, and then you get in free. On Sunday, everything is free. Saturday night, we'll have reenactors on hand. Sunday, it's all about honoring the life of Arthur Capper. And he is, of course, a permanent resident here at Topeka Cemetery. We're so proud of him. Look forward to seeing you then.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Around Kansas, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
My name is Gwen Atkinson. I'm part of the Old Settlers Committee. I am a new addition this year. They brought me on really as race director for the new 5K we just added in the morning on Saturday. But I'm also an MC on stage, so you get to see me talk and, be silly sometimes and lead some of the activities that are going on. And that's really how I got started. They needed somebody, and I filled that gap. On Thursday night, we featured a couple of different dance groups. We had a dance group come from Chanel Dance Company in Tonganoxie, and we had a group from Entertainment Dance Company out of Nortonville. Last night performed. Tonight we have the Kitty Pedal Power Pole, Hay Bale Toss, and a few bands that are playing today. There's also a band last night. We have on Saturday a lot of events going on, starting way early in the morning with a 5K race and a big country breakfast, all the way to the evening, finishing off with a big band called Sellout, and they're out of Lawrence. So lots of exciting events going on this weekend in Oskaloosa. We've incorporated a few different activities and a few different vendors over the years to offer things to, as people ask for them. This year we have a brand new event. It's a 5K race. You can walk or run it, and that's brand new, and we're excited to offer that during the festival. Let me see what else we have that's new. We have all kinds of old favorites that are back, so people like to see that. Things like fair rides, funnel cakes.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream.